With Young Thug set to release his next album, Scuti, I don't know how to pronounce it. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Somebody let me know how to pronounce it. With Young Thug set to release his new album on Friday, I think this is a perfect time for me to finally talk about all the things that have went down between Young Thug this past month and a half. So if you date back to, I think, May or June, I was begging for this Young Thug album. I was like, bro, we need it. I thought he was going to be the one to set the trend of, you know, rap is finally going to arrive in 2025. I was dead wrong. It was clear that he had written no music, didn't really intend on making music, and when his PR is really bad, now all of a sudden he wants to drop music. So if you've been following my TikTok, you've been following my Instagram, you know that I've been loosely keeping up with this Young Thug thing every now and again. I've mostly stayed out of it. You know, I jump in every now and again when, you know, something funny happens, or again, the release or the news that his new album was coming out. And in one of those videos, I set my expectations of what I think the new album is gonna do. But in this video, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, you know, obviously the leak calls, the interviews, and the 2 songs that have came out since then. Before we get into everything, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on IG. I post a lot of exclusive content over there that doesn't get placed over here. But let's talk about the leak calls first. Look, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. The only thing that I'm really gonna say is that that brother was bored. That brother was bored. He was in jail for 900 days and he just got to yapping and yapping and yapping, and oh, he's still yapping. I mean, talking about everybody from Kendrick Lamar to Future, of course talking about Gunna, having conversations with 21 Savage, admitting that he was cheating on Mariah the Scientist. I mean, it was a lot. Even to the point where he was talking to one of the girls that I think Mariah the Scientist fought at like a club or something. Like, it was just doing a lot of not good things, but you know, I've gotten, you know, a lot of different perspectives on this. And one of the ones was, when it comes to this stuff, is like, this dude was locked up for 900 days. He don't think that he getting out. Like, I think there was a strong point in time where he thought, I'm not getting out. And I don't know if 900 days is the exact, I know he was gone for over 2.5 years for sure. But he probably thought, I'm cooked. I'm not getting out. And this is just gonna be my life. So I don't think that these calls are ever gonna get released, because I don't think I'm getting released. But unfortunately, hey dude, these calls were recorded. What are you doing? But again, I think at one point in time he had solitary confinement. This man was doing anything and everything he could to have some connection to the world. And from that perspective, I could understand. The issue comes when you get mad about everybody else talking, everybody else gossiping. Now it looks like, oh, well, look at you. And then obviously the question of pillow talking, all this other stuff came into about, but we're not gonna get into that. But the most important thing that came out of that was the phone call with 21 Savage, where 21 Savage was essentially being a real friend and checking him on a lot of things and being like, hey, didn't your brother take that same plea deal? Didn't this happen? Didn't this happen? I mean, I'm your man and I'm gonna ride with you, but like, I just gotta hold you accountable and question you on some things, because it don't sound right what you're talking about right now. And with that, Thug was kind of scrambling with a lot of answers, you know what I'm saying? It was clear that this man is hurt. This man is very emotional, and this man wants to come home. You know, it's a lot of things. Which leads me into the interview with Big Banks. And man, was that a long interview. 3 hours long, and the biggest takeaways from it are obviously the memes.
Once you rap or once you turn gay, and I don't got nothing against gay people. It's gay people that work for me. But when I look at you a certain way, if I look at you, if I meet you and you gay, it's like, okay. If I meet you and you portraying that you a man, I can't look at you the same. Yeah. I ain't mad at you for being gay. So what? Everybody, whoever gay, they gay. So what, nigga? Nigga, I created you, nigga. Well, God created you, but I helped.
And look, that's not my biggest takeaways, but the memes are very funny. But my biggest takeaway from the interview was clear that Young Thug is a very giving person. Like, very giving, overly giving, in fact, to the point where when you are a giving person, you don't feel like you are owed these things But there is a feeling of it would have been nice if you had did this. Because I've done all of these things, because I've given you my life. He talked about how he wouldn't even see his family as much as he saw Gunna. How his father entrusted Young Thug to raise Gunna and all these other things. But there's a lot of issues with what he was talking about. Number one, I think Young Thug was clearly has been driven by ego and by hurt, by betrayal. Because I think from what I've gained from what he was talking about was, I think he would have been a lot more, I guess he would have came to terms with Gunna's decision better if Gunna had A, at least told him about it beforehand, or B, did something to try to make up for, whether it's sending him money, finding a way to send him money, send his mom money. Do something when you got out. But it was clear Gunna wanted no parts with Young Thug after that. And from Gunna's perspective, it's totally understandable, but we'll get into that later. But with Young Thug, it was clear that this brother was hurt. He was hurt because he, again, like I said, he felt like he gave everything to Gunna.
Why that shit ain't that? The fuck is a nigga thinking about?
Cause I just don't got my twin, bro. I don't got my friends, bro. I'm just fucked up. I'm fucked up, bro. The nigga who I be with every day, I don't got him no more, bro. I'm fucked up, bro.
Damn.
I'm fucked up, bro. I don't know what to do, bro. Like, and I ain't lose no nigga to a tragic, or now I lost a nigga to betrayal, bro. You signing that one piece of paper, signing your initials on this one piece of paper could get me a life sentence, my nigga. How you, like, come on, bro. I get a life sentence, all this piece of paper you signed, bro. Just cause you trying to get home fast, or you just trying to get to a hole, or you just doing a certain thing, bro. And you already done betrayed a nigga before, bro.
Damn.
A piece of paper, nigga, you gonna let a piece of paper in all this shit? Nigga, we men, bro. We brothers, nigga. Ain't no nigga in the world making me go against Gunna. No nigga, bro.
And for Gunna to tell everybody basically that YSL is a gang, that is Young Thug basically saying in his eyes, you have now betrayed me. You have now betrayed me. You have now essentially left me for dead, because it is going to be 1,000,000 times harder for me to get out of this situation now. And now I'm going to be the one stuck in this. And for Young Thug, I get it to a degree. Because where the line stops for me is, well, you did it. Or allegedly you did it. And you see, that's where the ego comes in, and that's where the lack of accountability comes in. Because, I mean, it's on record for some of the things that you've done, obviously. You know, I don't know all the details of the RICO trial, but allegedly, some of the things that you were accused of, and a lot of people are saying, hey, yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, it's like, you know, let's talk about it from Gunna's standpoint, right? Let's talk about it from his perspective. Because if we talk about it from Gunna's perspective, Young Thug, you know who Gunna is. And that's my problem, is that you know who Gunna is. And while, yes, Gunna portrays this image of a fake tough guy in raps, everybody in the world knew he wasn't a tough guy. It's not like 6ix9ine where, like, he was actually running around with the, you know, the gang flags and all that other stuff. Like, we all knew Gunna wasn't a tough guy. Gunna scares nobody, and you knew that as well. So at some point in time, you also got tricked by his music. How? How? When you knew his dad was like that, and if his dad is saying, hey, take care of my son, that is his dad letting you know my son isn't like that, and I don't want him to be like that. And so now you have to take accountability, because you took this brother, this young man, into the lifestyle that he never wanted to be in. He just wanted to be successful. He just wanted to be a rapper. And with Gunna, he has to take some responsibility and accountability, which I think he has done, because it's clear I'm separating myself from that situation entirely. I want nothing to do with this anymore, because he knew what it cost me was almost my life. What signing up with you, being with you, almost cost me my life. And I am blessed that I get a second chance to not be associated with that life anymore. And that I get to do all of these things, support my mom, make the music, sell almost 100K every time I drive, start a run club, fitness. Everything on Gunna's end looks like this is a clear restart, and everything on Thug's end when he went in looks like somebody that is going down a dark rabbit hole where he is spiraling, and he cannot get himself out of it. Because it's clear Gunna was in there writing raps, Gunna was in there doing push-ups, Gunna was in there reading books, he was doing everything that he can, waiting for the day that he could get out. And the first chance that he took to get out, he took it. And most likely was advised not to tell you, because you would probably tell him what you basically confirmed in that interview: if we go to jail for life, whoop-de-doo, right? No!
Chin up. Fuck that, nigga. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison, nigga. And we fight to get out this bitch.
So for him, on that perspective, especially confirming how you really feel, I understand why he didn't want to tell you that. I understand why he didn't want to come to you with that. Do I think in some semblance he kind of owed you to at least let you know I'm taking the deal? Yes, I think he should have told you at least I'm taking it. I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm taking it. Because from Thug's perspective, this is why he told his brother to take the deal. Because Gunna forced his hand. He had already exposed this to the game. He already exposed it. So now I gotta tell my brother, you gotta take it now. You have to take it. Because I don't want none of y'all following me at this point. I don't want none of you, well, specifically him. Because he don't like Obama, he don't like Yak, he don't like Woody for all these. Even though Woody low-key kind of held him down in the court case, but he don't like Woody. So he don't like none of these other people right now. The only people that he has any semblance of respect for is his brother, because he was the one that told his brother to take that plea deal, because Gunna took the same plea deal which admitted that YSL was a gang, in which case he felt like he had no choice but to be like, you gotta do it now. There's no point in staying silent. Let me die. I gotta die. Which is again showing how much of a giving person that he is. But unfortunately, it's the lack of accountability of your own actions and how we are all in this because of you is the issue for me. And that's why I personally, even though I understand where he's talking about or what he's talking about, there's a fine line where I have to draw it. And that's where I have to draw it. Because I can understand the human in you, but I just can't side myself with the actual decisions that were made leading up to this event. Because all of this leading up to the event is because of you. And that's the part that he doesn't want to acknowledge. Which leads me to the two songs where he's dissing Gunna, he's dissing Yak, he's dissing Obama, he's dissing Woody, and it's taking no accountability for everything that you've done. Because mind you, I don't know what role YSL Yak got. I don't know what none of these people have played a part of the YSL gang, right? I don't know what role Gunna played necessarily in the YSL gang. Honestly, it looks like Gunna was just like the roadie. He was just kind of there. You know what I'm saying? He was the puppy dog. He was just, you know what I'm saying? The getaway driver, as they will call it. The guy that's soft and, you know what I'm saying, not gonna really pull. So that's what Gunna's role kind of looked like in its entire brigade. Because again, everybody in the world knew Gunna is not like that. Gunna was raised from that elk. Gunna was clearly not raised to do the proper street codes or man codes that y'all thought he was. It's a lot of things that Gunna doesn't subscribe to that y'all subscribe to for obvious reasons. But the song literally exemplifies why Young Thug needs to really just stop talking. Because brother, please. Now, granted, I am happy that he's making music about it now because of it. Essentially, this is all we wanted for the past 3.5 years, to be honest with you. Business was cool, but yo, we want to hear about, you know, your mentals, what you're going through, you know what I'm saying? So, details that you can explain during the court. That's what we want to hear on Business, not a bunch of loosey tracks that nobody really cared about. It was only like 4 or 5 good songs off of that 25 song project. We didn't care about none of that, big dog. But fine. But then the next track is where it gets weird, because the next track is also toppled with apology letters to Future, Lil Baby, and Drake, where essentially, you know, like we said earlier, the tapes caught up to him, and you know, he was saying a lot of disparaging things about a lot of different people. And, you know, he had to, you know, issue out apologies to Future because essentially he called Future dumb. He said Future don't really know nothing like that. He only know music for real. He don't really know what would be going on like that. You know, he felt like he let Drake down, you know what I'm saying? Because Drake sent him, you know, some money for his books or whatever. I don't know. But he felt like he let Drake down, and I guess there was a leak call of him saying some disparaging stuff about Drake. And then obviously with Lil Baby, he kind of wrapped Lil Baby in this entire brigade, making Lil Baby kind of side with him by default. And if I'm Lil Baby, yeah, I kind of be mad too. Like, cause you kind of got me out here looking like an idiot, which by the way, remember Lil Baby said he was gonna drop that surprise tape? Yeah, that didn't come out for some reason. I wonder why. But yeah, like Lil Baby has looked like an absolute bozo and clown throughout the last 3.5 years. Not to mention you combine the, you know, Lil Baby fell off stuff. Lil Baby just hasn't looked good to the public eye for the last 3.5 years. And Young Thug plays a huge part in that. And so with that song, oh, I'm sorry everybody, it was just like, alright, cool. I guess you do miss your dogs. But now that we have, you know, the tapes out the way, we have the interviews out the way, we have the songs out the way, again, like I said, it's just been a lot of talking. We could finally get to the album, where I think that Miss You Dog song was him essentially saying, guys, please clear your features. Guys, I really need you to clear your features, because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to sell anything if it's just 15 songs of just me and some unknown Atlanta. Like, I need y'all, please, guys. That's what it screamed to me. Because especially when you pushed your album back a week because you were really scared to drop on the same week as Cardi B, because you knew Cardi B was going to be the #1 album that week. So yeah, Ladies Day, sure. But that's what it really sounded like to me. And we'll see if it works. Allegedly, there's Ken Carson feature on there. There's a Playboy Cardi feature on there. There is a Future feature on there. I don't know if that's Money is Money on Money. I don't know if that's that song, but yeah. But overall, though, I have middling expectations. Look, the song where he was dissing Gunna and them, I like it low key. I just don't like the content, but it ain't like he lost his skills. He still got it. It's still there. But I don't expect this to be a great project. I don't expect it to be necessarily bad either. I just expect it to kind of just be there. And I don't know how well it's going to do first week if there's not a song on here that has to spur up some drama. And with that, I either believe that A, there's gonna be a song dedicated to dissing Gunna specifically, or B, and this is my crazy theory, I think there's a song with Gunna on there. And that, you know, because technically he was still signed to YSL. I don't know if he's out his deal or not, but there's probably a song that them two recorded at some point, and he's gonna put it on there to make it seem like, oh, we're buddy and we're best friends. And I don't think Gunna's really gonna have a choice in that. Now again, I don't know all the legalities in that, so don't take my word for it. But I just do think that like, because what else is gonna sell this album? Like, if you can't talk about the court proceedings, you can't talk about the actual case, which we know you can. You can't really talk about, you know, hurting people or shooting people or all these other things, because you have strict guidelines from, you know, Atlanta police department, the feds, to say, hey bro, you slip up one time, we on your ass, so it's best for you not to talk like this. Like, what is Young Thug going to talk about for 13 songs? If you take out the violence part, if you take out the court proceeding part, and if you take out the, you know, I hate rats thing, all that's left is money and sex. And I don't know if I can do that for 15 songs. Like, that's like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, there has to be some introspective. There has to be a record where you're actually taking accountability. There has to be something. Otherwise, you've wasted everybody's time. And if you waste everybody's time, you're ruining your own good graces, because you're already on thin ice, pal. You're already on thin ice, pal. And I don't know what you're going to present, because you have nothing else to present. It's not like you're like some top tier storyteller and lyricist. It's not like you're that creative. Like, you're creative sonically wise, but in terms of storytelling and all this other stuff, you're not like a J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, where you could just go out and just really tell a story. You're not a Nas. You're not none of these other people. So really, it's gonna be down to your production that's gonna have to save this for you. And that's kind of scary, because this is Thug's real first time back being against the wall in I don't know how many years. And he has to go prove it now, because Gunna's already proved it. And with that expectation, knowing that you and Lil Baby haven't really been putting out the best music in a while, you have to now go prove it. And so you need to make every call that you can to try to salvage what's left. And that, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, leaves me kind of just saying, this is either gonna be mid or really bad. But I don't see it really being good. I hope it is, but I don't see it being good. I think it's impossible for it to be good. Now, I would love to eat my words. I really want this project to be good, because I'm gonna listen to it. I love Young Thug, but I just don't know. I don't know, and he hasn't earned that from me for me to say, I'm confident that you'll give us a good project. Not when I haven't gotten anything good from you in the past 3.5 years. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of where I stand on it. I thought you talked too much. I thought you taken almost zero accountability in everything that you've done. And from the music side, I just don't think that you're going to be able to deliver, especially if your hands are tied on what you can actually rap about. And not to mention that you literally wrote that song just to try to probably get them features back. Like, it's tough. He's in a tough situation. And I don't know if he can win out of this. But y'all let me know how y'all felt about this entire Young Thug Brigade, what's been going on. It has been really funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been really hilarious. But just talking about it in terms of, I guess, a human aspect, it's kind of just been sad seeing Young Thug kind of spiral in this way, to the point where it took him, you know, kind of being exposed for not being the greatest person or the best of friends to other people, for him to finally promote music. And the fact that it took this long for him to promote music, and it feels like this project was probably made 3 months ago. But the video's over. The video's over, ladies and gentlemen. The video's over. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, follow me on all my socials, Instagram, TikTok. You be lit over there. A lot of exclusive content. But in the meantime, y'all, it's been your boy Josh Shiro. We out.